Hello, I'm Ed. I'm a pretty impulsive guy. Over the past few years, I've had various hobbies. Fixing cars, driving cars, fast ones and slow ones, surfing, not surfing, planes, and boats. I was going to make a video about fixing up my old boat and post some fishing content, but before I could do that, I sold the boat and, true to form, made another impulse purchase on Facebook Marketplace. Here's how that went. So, figured this would be a pretty classic video to upload. I've just seen a car pop up in Melbourne that I decided that I wanted. We're gonna go have a look at it. We got the foot in the door, so we're gonna go see it, and just trying to wrangle together some cash so we can bring it home tonight if it's worth buying. We made it home. It's now 11 o'clock. It took a little while to get a few things sorted, like they had to bolt the tray back on, a few things like that, and make sure we had enough oil to last the trip. But as far as defenders go, it behaved well. So far so good. Definitely got my work cut out for me, but it's got good bones anyway. So yeah. More to come. So obviously it's still wet, but pretty happy with how that's come up just with the gurney. Petrol gurneys are just so good. Like, this was all full of grass 2 seconds ago, and gurney just gets it done. But I reckon under that crap there is still a pretty decent paint job, so I'm pretty keen to give it a proper wash and cut. There's every chance that we can get this good enough that when we respray the firewall it doesn't look too bad and we can get a pretty good match. But so far so good. Let's see how much water I've blasted in here. Yep. Looks about right. It's actually a bit less than I was expecting. Just leave the windows open tonight. Right, so we've given it all a gurney. Didn't achieve a great deal. The main reason is I just want to have access to bolts and I don't want them to be covered in gunk. It's really not bad. It's just dirty. It looks like it's just really, really dirty, but all that will come off and then away we go with some paint. I'll degrease everything that needs to be degreased and try to work out where the leak's coming from, but it's pretty obvious where they're coming from anyway. That leak in the bell housing there can either be what's called a T-seal, which is a seal between the big end bearing cap and sort of the start of the bell housing, I guess. I had to do that on my last one and it was a bit of an annoying job, but hopefully it's just the sump gasket hasn't got enough goo. So hopefully that one fixes it itself. But the rear main seal, which I thought was bad, looks like it's actually good, because when they're leaking, it leaks into the bell housing and comes out that hole at the bottom. The hole at the bottom there's for it's for plugging the flywheel when you're doing a timing belt. So I think the rear main's okay. It's just hopefully sump gasket. But now I'm just going to wire wheel the chassis back, crack on with that, get it ready for paint. I'm not going to get it super pretty, like, it's not worth spending that much more time on than just sort of a quick go over with the wire wheel. If you're going to go too crazy with it, you'd be better off stripping it and getting the whole thing sandblasted. So I'll just wire wheel it. Any sort of nooks that I can't really get into, they'll get like a rust inhibitor, converter type stuff, and then yeah, spray it back so it looks nice and crack on. Just talking about the T-seals and that, I started to bore myself. So throughout the videos, I probably won't go into a great deal of detail on how to do this, how to do that. I'll just show snippets of the sort of process to give you guys an idea of my sort of approach and what I'll do to get it back up and running reliably and how much work's actually involved in that. So here's a side-by-side on how the cars come up after a few go-overs with the wire wheel and the gurney. In my head, it's a pretty good place to start with any old car, as you'll find any bad rust or other issues under the chassis as you go through and do that. Not a fun job, but it has to be done, and it's looking good enough now that I'd be pretty happy to paint over that. I've got an order of some parts on the way now from the UK. Nothing that exciting, just a few bits to get the car looking presentable on the road. Next jobs on the list will be pulling off the sump, trying to work out where that oil leak's coming from, as well as scuffing the firewall back and getting that ready for paint. I'll try resist painting the chassis just yet, as it'll only get more accessible as I get more and more parts out of the way. That'll probably do it for this video. Thanks for watching. Cheers.